War does not announce itself. It arrives as a tremor, a whisper, a rumor no one believes, until the sky catches fire. The first bombardment struck at dawn. I remember the sound more than the explosion. A deep, unnatural hum, like the universe inhaling before it screamed. Then, the capital city of Thalaran ignited. Orbital platforms shattered in streaks of white flame. Towers of glass and solar steel collapsed inward. Defensive cannons roared in desperate retaliation as enemy cruisers carved lines of destruction across the upper atmosphere. I was not royalty. I was not noble. I was Sergeant Cale Draven of the 7th Vanguard Legion. And that morning, I was ordered to hold the eastern gate until evacuation corridors cleared. We all knew what that meant. Hold until we die. The enemy banners appeared through smoke, the crimson sigil of the Dominion Ascendancy, an empire that believed monarchy was weakness and democracy was rot. They expanded by absorption or annihilation. Our queen, Aerolith Vera, had refused absorption. So annihilation came. Blaster fire cut through debris. My squad advanced through streets choked with civilians and fallen masonry. We weren't fighting for strategy anymore. We were fighting for time. Draven, Corporal Jack shouted. We've got movement near the palace perimeter. The palace. If the Dominion breached the palace, the war ended today. We moved. Through flame. Through falling ash. Through bodies. By the time we reached the inner court, the Royal Guard had been decimated. Energy shields flickered weakly across fractured pillars. And then I saw her. Not crowned. Not armored. Just standing in the center of ruin. Queen Aerolith. She was younger than I expected. Silver hair streaked with soot. A ceremonial blade in her hand. Not practical, but symbolic. 3 Dominion shock troopers advanced toward her. There was no time to think. I fired. 2 fell. The 3rd lunged. I tackled him mid-strike, driving my combat knife through the seam of his armor. When I stood, breathing hard, the queen was staring at me. Not frightened. Calculating. You're not Royal Guard, she said. No, Your Majesty. The palace ceiling groaned. Another bombardment incoming. Evacuation route compromise. Jack shouted from behind us. The queen looked toward the collapsing western wing. There is a secondary corridor beneath the throne hall, she said. Can you walk? Her expression tightened. Blood stained her side. She had been hit. Yes, she said. She could not. The ceiling fractured. Stone fell. Without asking permission, I moved to her side. You're coming with me. I lifted her into my arms as another explosion tore through the palace dome. And that was the moment my fate changed. Carrying a queen is heavier than carrying a person. Not because of weight, because of consequence. We moved through collapsing corridors while Dominion forces pushed inward. My squad formed a perimeter, firing in coordinated bursts as debris rained around us. Left flank, Jax yelled. I adjusted the queen in my arms and kicked open a maintenance hatch leading to the understructure tunnels. The passage was dark, narrow, half-flooded. We ran. Behind us, the palace imploded. The queen gripped my armor. You should have left me, she said quietly. No. If I fall, the Dominion wins legitimacy. Then you're not falling. Her eyes searched my face. You speak as if you command destiny. No, I said. I just refuse to surrender it. The tunnel shook violently. Dominion troops had found the entrance. We were being hunted. By the time we reached the extraction point outside city limits, only 3 of my original 12 soldiers remained. A transport shuttle descended through smoke. I carried her aboard. As the hatch sealed, I collapsed to my knees, still holding her. The city burned below. The queen studied me for a long moment. You did not hesitate, she said. I follow orders. No, she replied softly. You chose. Thalarin fell within hours. The Dominion installed a provisional governor and declared the monarchy dissolved. But they had not captured the Queen. Our fleet regrouped at the outer asteroid belts. What remained of loyal forces gathered under fractured command. Rumors spread quickly. The Queen survived. Saved by a vanguard sergeant. Me. I tried to return to anonymity. The Queen did not allow it. 3 days after the fall, I was summoned to her flagship. I entered expecting commendation. Instead, I found strategy. Aerolith stood before a holographic map of contested systems. You carried me through war, she said. Now I must carry my people through defeat. I'm a soldier, Your Majesty. You are more than that. I remained silent. She turned toward me fully. The Dominion believes this conflict ends with the capital. They are wrong. We will rebuild from the outer colonies. With respect, we don't have the numbers. Her gaze sharpened. We have something better. And what is that? Resolve. She stepped closer. You are willing to die for me without question. Why? I hesitated. Because it was right. Because surrender is infection. Because some things must survive. I don't know, I answered honestly. She studied me as if that answer mattered. Then she said words I did not expect. Stay at my side. I blinked. As what? As the man who did not run. Months passed in guerrilla resistance. We struck supply lines. Freed occupied worlds. Turned Dominion propaganda against them. The Queen did not hide. She broadcast from hidden bases, reminding the galaxy that the monarchy still stood. And I stood beside her. At first, soldiers whispered. Then citizens did. Then enemy intelligence reported it. The Queen and the soldier. She began including me in war councils. Your instincts on the battlefield saved me, she said once. I need that clarity. I was not educated in politics, but I understood morale. I understood fear. And I understood how empires crumble when leaders forget the cost of survival. One evening, after a successful liberation of the mining world Arinder, she requested I walk with her outside the command dome. The stars above were clearer than they had been in years. You changed the trajectory of this war, she said. I carried you through a hallway. You carried hope. Silence stretched between us. Why me? I asked finally. She did not answer immediately. Instead, she stepped closer. When I looked into your eyes in that burning palace, she said softly, I saw something no council ever gave me. What? Trust. Then she said the words that altered my existence more than any battlefield. You're my husband now. The universe seemed to pause. My what? You saved not just my life, but the continuity of my line. The monarchy must stand united. The people already see you as protector. This is strategy. Yes, she said, but her voice held something deeper. And choice. I stared at her. I'm a soldier. You are the man who carried me through fire. Silence. You can refuse, she added. But we both knew the truth. Refusal would fracture morale. Acceptance would solidify resistance. I exhaled slowly. Then we stand together. Her eyes softened. Forever. Part 5. The Final War. The Dominion retaliated brutally when news of our union spread. They saw it as defiance. They escalated. Entire fleets mobilized to crush the rebellion. The final battle took place above the reclaimed capital. Years after its fall, we returned not as refugees, but as a unified armada. I commanded the vanguard fleet. She commanded the will of the people. The battle raged across orbit. Starfighters clashed in blazing arcs. Capital ships exchanged planet-shaking volleys. Dominion dreadnoughts descended toward the atmosphere. The Queen stood beside me on the command deck. "Whatever happens," she said quietly, "we changed fate once. We'll do it again." The Dominion flagship targeted our bridge. Impact alarm screamed. I moved instinctively, shielding her as the deck ruptured. For a moment, it was the burning palace again. Smoke, fire, chaos. But this time, she did not need carrying. She stood. And together we led the counteroffensive. Our fleet broke their formation. Their flagship fell. Their empire fractured without decisive victory. Thalarin was free. Years later, historians would romanticize it. The soldier who carried the queen who chose the soldier. But history never captures the weight of choice. I carried her through war. She changed my fate forever. Not because she crowned me, not because she named me husband, but because in the moment when everything burned, we chose each other. And sometimes, that is enough to change a galaxy.